Hey, I got a new mower, the Neomow from Hookii, and it's a fully SLAM-based 3D LiDAR mower, no ground wires and no RTK antenna. So this video I'm going to talk about the unboxing experience and my first experience setting it up and using it. This is what it looks like sitting on its charging station. Very nice. I have been using a Husqvarna for the last 5 years, and it's been a trusty workhorse, working, the mower's still working great. The problem is the ground wire. So the ground wires for the edge detection are a pain in the neck to maintain over the years. The cables degrade, they lose signal, you have to find the brake. Finding the brake's a pain, and I've decided to upgrade to a mower that doesn't need any ground wires and no RTK antenna, just full 3D SLAM. The out-of-box experience was really good. Everything came up together. It did a firmware update. It found my Wi-Fi, all the things you'd expect to work. It has a nice iPhone app, and the setup was a breeze. The next step then is to map out the lawn boundaries by driving the mower with a remote control on the phone around the edge of your lawn. And as you can see, I have about almost an acre property, but a lot of weirdly shaped strips of grass all the way around here. I tried to do it in one fell swoop, which took quite a while, probably 45 minutes of driving, and unfortunately when I hit save, it didn't like it. It said that there were some areas that intersected, which was not true. What I had to do is I had to break it up into multiple regions. You can see there's a green line here. So I did this area here and cut across there and saved that one. That was okay. I was able to do an exclusion zone around a water feature here and another exclusion zone here. That worked fine. And then I added this region down here, which is a long strip of grass that goes down the hill, and connected it here and saved it. I was able to save that, but it said that I needed to create a passageway to connect the two, which was weird because they clearly connect already. But just driving the mower from here to here is all I needed to do to connect that area. Same with this one on the north side. I drove this and saved it, but I had to drive a connecting passage from here to here. Even though it's all grass, it shouldn't have needed that. But anyway, that made it happy. It is now able to mow all of these areas, and it did it beautifully. You can see here it's driving along. It does drive the edge that you mapped out. It also drives very nice straight lines filling in your grass. So it's a straight line mower. It stays really straight and just all the way back and forth, which means it gets the job done more quickly than the random walking of the Husqvarna, and it doesn't miss anything, including down my long strip of grass that goes down the hill next to the road. Nice straight lines down there. I was curious, when I recorded the boundary, I of course drove close to the road. I was curious to see how close it would get to that during mowing by itself, and it got very close. I mean, it would get right up on along that edge. Now I was a little bit worried about the other edge on this side because it's got a bit of a cliff here, about 4 inches drop, and I didn't want it to get stuck. I drove as close as I could to the edge because I don't want to have the mower leave a strip of unmown grass there. But on the other hand, it did get stuck a couple times like this. So I'm going to have to change the boundary and not get quite so close to that edge. It'd be nice if the mower could learn how to avoid falling off an edge like this, and we'll see if they can make some improvements there. Just for context, you can see how this strip connects to the rest of my lawn. It's a long way away from home here, and that's fine, no problem. It's fully autonomous, and it worked great. Another shot of it here in my backyard. This is the exclusion zone I had to map out for my water feature and patio, and it excludes that perfectly. Here's another place where it got stuck, so I'm going to have to change my boundary mapping again to give it a bit more of an edge there. This one, it's really not much of a hill that it got stuck on, maybe 2 inches. I was a bit disappointed that it wasn't able to just back up and use the power that it has on the left wheel to get out of that situation. Here's a picture of it trying to get unstuck. You can see it has no grip here. Maybe that leaf didn't help, or it needs longer knobs on the wheels. Another problem to watch out for is when I did finish mapping this and tried to save it, you can see I deliberately overlapped them, and I went back to this sort of starting point and tried to save the map. I would get this error saying the start and the end points are too far apart. Watch out for that, because what happened is I had to drive the mower back a bit. So my starting point was actually over here somewhere, but I tried to finish it way back here, whereas I should have finished it over here. Once I got it stuck into that state where it kept popping up that error, there's nothing I could do because I didn't know how to fix it, and I ended up hitting cancel, and then I lost my entire mapping work. And so watch out for that. You can lose your mapping work if you don't have your start and end points in the same place. This is the error I was getting when I needed to create a passage, and this kept popping up, and I had to add a passage that connected the two areas to get rid of this error message. This was the first error I got when I actually mapped out my entire lawn, including the long strip, all as one area. It said the area boundaries intersect, even though they don't. I think they have a math problem there in terms of how to understand these long strips. Or maybe there's little protrusions like this that it doesn't like, where I had to back up the mower and start again. And they should have done some smoothing or done some better math to figure out that my lawn here was not. There was no area boundaries intersecting. There was nothing I could do to fix this. I had to cancel the mapping and lose all of that work. So watch out for that. If you do run into it, the only solution I could find was to break it down into smaller areas and then connect them with passages. Other than that though, you can hear it's pretty quiet. It definitely has a sound. It's a bit louder than the Husqvarna, but compared to any other mower, super quiet, and it just busily mows the grass. I love the fact that it does nice straight lines. On this strip, actually, the Husqvarna did have problems doing such a long, thin strip, and at one point it just wasn't reaching the bottom at all, because it would do a random walk to here, a random walk to here, turn around and randomly walk back up, and would never walk to the bottom. And in fact, there's a long tuft of grass right down here in the middle of that strip that the Husqvarna never mowed and really had trouble with. So these long strips I'm excited about, and it's not going to leave little bits of grass that were never touched. So that's great. All up, for a brand new mower that's just out of Kickstarter mode, I'm super impressed, and it works great. There's some improvements they could make, and I'm sure they'll make them. I think this mower has the potential to change everything with no ground wires, no RTK antennas. This is clearly where the technology's headed. So all up, I think these guys have taken a really good first crack at the problem, and they've done a really impressive job so far.